Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Friday Night Access with our hosts, Nick Gibson and Garrison Brown. Joining us is a very special guest, Connor Lining. Today, we have topics. You broke it. That's not how
You
it's supposed to
interrupted
go.
it. It's all ruined.
You broke my kill streak. All right. Let's just move on. Hi everyone, welcome to Project Access. You know the spiel. I'm Nick Gibson.
Say hi, Nick.
Hi Nick.
I'm Garrison, and
this is our special guest, Connor Lining.
Well, I broke the streak last time, so I'm not going to say anything this time.
I was specifically prompting you to speak.
Hey guys.
I mean, I appreciate the stereotypical Canadian politeness, but lighten it up.
That's all good. Okay,
Yeah.
so hey, before we get into the topics, we should probably mention who is this Connor dude, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Connor, well, he's an awesome dude first and foremost, and Connor is the creator of the video game Towards the Pantheon, which you can currently buy on Steam, and it has positive reviews. He's also an amazing musician who has his own music, which I'm sure later he will plug generously.
Yes.
How? And then he also has a history in the indie game development scene, which is where both myself and Project Access writer, I'm the writer.
Wait a
Project
second.
Access penciler and inker, and all around.
I
snarky
goofed
bastard
something.
Jason Johnson also knows him from.
I goofed something.
What did you goof?
Okay, so you remember how I did that art stream?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where my thing is going right now.
Okay, redo.
Well, no, it's okay. Like the recording is still going, and we'll just do a quick recap of the intro. Crap. Hold on one second.
Okay, all right. We're gonna have to restart the show again.
Well,
Take two.
now I know not to interrupt you guys.
Okay, yeah, that's that. Yes. Do
Think
it
of it
right.
that way.
Jeez,
We'll do it live.
Okay.
Got Nick O'Reilly over here.
Oh my God, yes, I love you.
Copy this. Put this. What?
All right, Garrison, when you're ready, give us a 5 count.
All right, hold on one sec. And I'm gonna leave that in the recording too.
Damn it. Yeah, that's fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna do that. We'll apply that. So in theory, now it should be actually going over to the proper thing. So
Let's hope your application of the theory is correct.
and start streaming.
Did you just cross the streams?
No, I abruptly streamed. I'm sorry.
You crossed the streams. You crossed from one stream to the other. We literally just crossed the streams. You're not supposed to do that. But are we live on the proper channel?
Let me confirm that. Yes, we are actually. Finally.
Oh, hello everyone. Sorry for the late delay. Our
Oops.
glorious technician streamed us on the wrong channel. So if you were a follower of Garrison's channel, you got a little taste of the goof. But hello everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Access. I am one of the co-hosts, Nick Gibson. Joining me is my other co-host, Garrison Brown.
Hello.
Say hi, Garrison.
Hello.
And tonight we have a very, very special guest, a man who I consider to be a personal friend, sometimes mentor, and sometimes slapper when I need to get out of a depression slump. The great and the glorious Connor Lining. Say something, Connor.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure, a very, very much pleasure. So Connor, besides being an awesome dude, he is the creator of the video game Towards the Pantheon, which you can currently buy on Steam. He's a musician who has released several albums. He currently has a band, which I'm sure he'll be plugging later. And then he's also has a history in indie game development for retro consoles of the Dreamcast variety. We're not going to go into that, but I will mention that's how I met Connor, is on a certain pulmonary project that will go nameless. Otherwise, I might have a heart attack. I know, that was a little bit too on the nose. And it's all. And another thing to note is Connor is also a good friend of Project Access penciler and inker extraordinaire and all-around smartass Jason Johnson. So, Connor, please tell us a little bit more about yourself in your own words, and because I'm sure you can do a much better job than I can.
No, that was a pretty. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an amazing dude, but I appreciate the kind words.
Well, I appreciate the humility. That's always an admirable trait.
You're wrong, though.
I'm a fan of stoicism and cynicism. A capital C cynicism, not the negativity type of cynicism.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Just I consider myself pretty simple dude. I just like making games, making music, and
yeah. It's funny you mentioned the philosophy stuff because, like, I always consider myself to be like a pragmatist by nature. Like that's kind of the more what I subscribe to. But I totally like I totally respect like your kind of schools of philosophy. The only like school of philosophy I really honestly don't respect is nihilism, because I find it to be ultimately self-defeating.
Mm-hmm.
So Connor, what motivated you to make a video game?
Well, I started doing soundtrack composition before I became a game developer.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember listening to the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack before I even played the game when I was about 12 years old, and
That's a good soundtrack.
Oh yeah, and I knew at that point I was like, okay, I want to make soundtracks for games because that was the game and the soundtrack that made me think that games were not just entertainment; they're also art. In the same way we think of, novels and paintings and stuff like that.
Honestly,
And
I feel like Silent Hill, while it's a respected game, I feel like it deserves more recognition because it does get a lot of recognition nowadays. But I feel like it deserves more. Like people put like Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 on a pedestal, and sure, but like honestly, I feel like it should be up in that pantheon, if not more.
yeah,
It kind of is, though.
Yeah, like that's why I was saying like it's revered, but I don't think it's revered enough.
To be fair, though, that's because it does some things perfectly right, but other things it really kind of doesn't. Like the gameplay of pretty much all Silent Hill games. Like, you don't play that game for the gameplay.
That's true.
So,
But if we're talking composition-wise and like soundtracks and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So as far as musical wise, what do you consider to be some of your musical influences?
Some of my influences, did you say?
Yeah.
Well, Akira Yamaoka, who did the Silent Hill soundtracks, is my favorite musician of all time.
Well, I would imagine.
I listened to a ton of black metal. That's a little bit more death metal. You have to do the high-pitched screeching.
I don't have the vocal cords for that.
The Boards of Canada, a lot of electronic stuff. Pretty much every genre has something good in it. So I may have preferences and stuff, but if it's good, if it's got a good beat or it's got a good vibe or whatever, then I enjoy listening to it.
I'm the exact same way when it comes to the music I listen to, where like people constantly ask me, "Oh, what's your favorite genre of music?" I'm like, it's you enjoy a lot of things as long as the particular song feels good to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Oh, but
I listen to a lot of DMX.
Real quick though, Connor, for your music, do you happen to have anything on YouTube that I could perhaps play softly in the background to give people an idea of what you do?
If you look up Connor ORT Linning, and then there should be a YouTube video that's something like 2 hours of dark ambient music.
That was done by you?
Yeah, it's all done by. It's like a compilation of all my more dark ambient style tracks.
That sounds like the best background music ever. We should use that.
Okay,
So,
that's gonna be playing for the rest of the show now. What'd you say it was?
Yes.
Connor.
ORTLINNING.
Interesting.
A lot of Silent Hill inspired kind of stuff.
Okay, well,
Honestly,
I think I found your
I
YouTube
might
channel.
actually use that while I'm writing. I listen to a lot of when I'm doing writing, it's a lot of ambient, electronic, and horror stuff. So I may be taking use of your playlist so that I can write.
Well, that's I make it in the hopes that people enjoy it. So that'd
I
be
think
cool.
I will. Thank you. I shall
Let's see.
consume it and be grateful for it.
Is Midnightmare one of yours?
Yep.
All right, we're doing it. Let me
Do it. Do it live.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if the stream can hear this. Yeah, they probably can. So I'll just.
Is there anyone in the chat that can confirm?
Can anyone hear spooky, scary noises in the background?
Except for that.
Somebody's gonna think that Nick's impromptu vocals is part of the track.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I promise you it's not.
I'm sorry that I'm really good at that. I apologize.
I should sample that and make a song out of it.
You're more than welcome to. Make a good track. Just make sure to credit me. I mean, hey, if you need other samples, let me know. I'm willing to collaborate. So, besides Silent... Oh, you're going to say something?
Well, just gonna say that the funny thing is that I started learning the program and becoming a game developer because there's so many soundtrack composers and there's so few games that need soundtrack composers that I did it just because I wanted to make horror games. Pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember for a brief moment I was kind of looking around the interwebs trying to get see sound composer work, and the thing is there's 1.5 billion people trying to be advertise sound composer work. You know, so it's kind of a very saturated market. People looking to. So you kind of chose a better route. Just create your own games and put the own music in there. Not everyone can be the Ron Hubbard of modern times.
Did you just say the L. Ron Hubbard?
No, Ron Hubbard. He was a composer for this. He was a famous composer.
Okay.
He did C64 music, Commodore 64.
Okay, because that's what I thought you said, and those are two very different people.
Yeah, two very.
No wonder
different
I've never
people.
heard of him.
Well, the Commodore 64 actually was legendary for his music, and Ron Hubbard was one of the guys who was really famous in the Commodore, in the music. You know who I'm talking about, right, Connor?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But if you put an L in front of that, that's a very different bird.
Yeah, it's very different person.
That's what I thought I heard. So.
Curse me in my mush mouth.
Yes, your mouth of marbles. Your Mike
Shut the
Tyson mouth.
fuck up.
Nope, no can do.
You're glad that you're all the way in Kalamazoo, otherwise I'd get my sewing needle.
Ayy.
Savage.
Sabotage.
The track is too spooky. I have to cancel it now.
Wait, what?
The track I had playing in the background, too spook. I have to cancel it.
Oh, someone didn't like it?
No, I was saying it's too spook.
Oh!
Yeah, but what do you expect from something called Midnightmare? It does its job.
Well, that's good. It was meant to be spooky, so I'm happy. When I say dark ambient, I mean dark.
Do I need to shoot some kittens out of the kitten cannon to your way?
I mean, I wouldn't mind some kittens if that's what you're offering.
Yeah, kittens are cool.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Okay. We should probably get on to some actual topics.
Yes. The awkwardness can only go on for so long. So, getting into our hot topic section. Sorry, every time I say that, I just images of, just going to my head.
Of black lipstick and nerdy shirts and stuff.
Plaid corsets. Oh wait, that's Spencer's.
Well, I wouldn't put it past Hot Topic though.
No. Corsets so small, you're wondering how even a human being could fit inside them.
I still wouldn't put that past Hot Topic, really.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, on to your thing.
Yes. So, it's kind of basically section A of the hot topics is just kind of like a kind of split into two. So recently, I've been playing the game Ion Fury, and for those who are not aware, so like Connor, you know, like the game, like the Duke Nukem, Blood,
Oh
Shadow
yeah.
Warrior from the '90s.
Yeah.
You're aware of the build engine, right?
Yeah.
So the build
Yeah,
engine
Blood
was the
great.
thing that powered all those games, and Ion Fury is literally made with the build engine from 1997. It's using the same exact engine that was used for these games. So it's like screw retro-inspired games made in Unity. This is literally a retro game. Obviously it has like better resolution and you know like the hardware is better so it can do more, but still it's using an engine. It would be like making a game using Tech 2 but from when it was first made,
Mm-hmm.
um
It's pretty
and
sweet.
yeah, and it's really really good. And the protagonist, she has like some really great one liners. There's like some Die Hard references, and it's really brutal. Like I was playing it on the equivalent of like normal difficulty, and it was just it's brutal. But it's kind of one of those games that hurt, but like they hurt so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like more daddy, please, more
Okay,
daddy.
whoa, hold on a second there. Let's not.
Being a little
Let,
bit too zesty.
let us not and say we didn't.
Okay, all right. Uh, the other thing is Gamescom happened recently, and they made a pretty big announcement. Though what's weird is it's kind of one of those things where when you hear about it, it's be like, didn't they own them already? So Sony Computer Entertainment announced their acquisition of the studio Insomniac Games. Now Insomniac is famous for a couple of different series. Back in the day, they created the Spyro the Dragon series. With the PS2 era, they created Ratchet and Clank. PS3, they did the Resistance series, and PS4, they created the greatest superhero game of all time known as Spider-Man.
You mean Superman 64?
Nice.
I will take one of those golden rings and choke you with them.
Or
What?
Quest 64.
Quest 64 is actually playable. I'll give Quest 64 some credit.
True.
Like that game's actually playable. It's ass, but it's kind of a playable ass.
Playable. It depends on how loose you're using the term playable.
Yes. You have to use plenty of lube.
Okay.
Yes. But speaking of Spider-Man, let's go into what I would probably consider the main topic of the evening. Has there been any comments from the Peanut Gallery?
Nah, nothing yet.
Alright.
And come on, don't call them the Peanut Gallery.
But peanuts are tasty and nutritious.
There, but actually, do you know where the term Peanut Gallery came from?
No, but I have a feeling you want to enlighten me, so please do, Daddy.
I do. So basically, for think the old style shows where you would have, it would be the orchestras and the opera halls and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They had a section kind of that wasn't in an optimal viewing spot. And the cheapest food available there at the time for, concessions was peanuts. So you had this group of people who weren't as wealthy, the type of people that don't typically go to opera halls, which also typically means they were the more rambunctious ones, and they had their peanuts, and if they didn't like what was happening on stage, they would like boo it and throw peanuts at the performers. So that's where the term "quite in the peanut gallery" came from.
Interesting. I always love like hearing how all these phrases got their due.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Some
for
of them are just
example,
unbelievable.
Like for example, yeah, like the song, like the "Ring Around the Rosie" song.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally was about nuclear war, right?
No, I didn't.
Ring around the roses, pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
Huh. I thought it predated nuclear stuff, though.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I always heard it.
Basically, what
Yeah.
I'm taking away from this conversation is that peanuts are for plebs.
Yes, exactly. Peanuts for
Though to be
flex.
fair, peanuts are good sources of protein.
Oh yeah, peanuts are actually like really, really nice.
Yeah, like any sort of nut.
Mm-hmm. Like you. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't hold it.
Anyways, back on track.
Yes, please. All right. So as we know, well, not as we know, but like, so the recent Spider-Man movies have been a co-production between Marvel Studios, aka Disney, and Sony Pictures. Sony Pictures have had the rights to Spider-Man for like since the 90s. They were responsible for the Raimi trilogy. Spider-Man, by the way, the first two films are actually my favorite Spider-Man films. Fight me.
Mm-hmm.
And they also did the Amazing films, I mean Spider-Man 1 and 2. And and obviously they did Venom. And so basically the arrangement was Marvel would make the films and Sony would get to keep their proceeds from it. Because the thing is, Disney owns obviously the rights to Spidey. They just don't own like the film rights. That belongs to Sony. But the thing is, Spider-Man merchandise is actually one of the most lucrative merchandise today. Like I think it makes like billions of dollars just Spider-Man merchandise alone. Not all of Marvel, just Spider-Man. I mean, just go outside, you see Spider-Man merchandise everywhere. He's a really popular character. Like there was times where Spider-Man was considered to be Marvel's Superman, and by that I mean like the top tier character. Like when you think of Marvel, you think of Spider-Man. And so they had this deal, and it ended with Far From Home. So basically, Disney came to the table, and they would be like, "Hey, I know that we get all the money from the Spider-Man movies, and you only get the movie proceeds, but we want some of those movie proceeds now. We want 50% of it." And it's like, and I think like I think in all fairness they did offer to cover 50% of production costs, but even then it's still cutting into Sony's profits because Spider-Man is really like their only profitable property. And Sony countered with like a 70-30 kind of split, something more reasonable. And Disney denied it, and so Sony walked. And like Sony, in media, there's a lot of shill for Disney, because what is sometimes called access media. It's the people who write favorably about something because they want access, like access to premieres, behind the scenes people, or they want to keep their access. And so basically right now we kind of have a situation where you're either on Sony's side or you're either on Disney's side. I think most people can tell based off of the way I'm talking about this, I'm very much on Disney. I'm not
Whoa.
Sony's side. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That was stupid. What are your guys' thoughts?
Wait, who owns the rights to Spider-Man? Disney or Sony?
It's kind of complicated because there's the movie rights. All right, another thing. So Marvel in the 90s was basically in the toilet. And the only way they could stay afloat was to sell off the movie rights to a lot of their characters. Like that's how like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil ended up with Fox. And a lot of the other characters, like for example, the Hulk the Hulk movie rights are actually still tied to Paramount, which is why we haven't seen a Hulk solo movie since Phase 1. And so Sony owns the movie rights. But as far as the overall rights to the character, Disney does.
I mean, like, with the information I have from it, and I'll be the first to admit, I haven't done a ton of, extensive research on it. But if they had their thing going where Disney gets to make the toys basically, or in the shirts and whatnot, they get the merchandising rights, Sony gets, the movie money, that seems more than fair, especially when you consider that, like, superhero stuff, like old kids cartoons, stuff like that, the big money maker was the merchandise. Like, hell,
I'm sorry, I gotta do this. Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Yeah. But like for instance, the movie Cars from Pixar. Like I'm like why do you think we got, 3 Cars movies and a spin-off series? Like, it got so much attention because those toys, toy cars, sold like hotcakes. My little brother alone was a big fan of the series, and
Yeah, my cousin Andrew. He was all into the Cars merchandise.
yeah, I swear my little brother must have bought something along the lines of like 45 of those toy car things at like $5 or $7 a pop.
Wow.
Yeah, that's him alone. Like, so we gotta understand, it's not like Disney's missing out here. They're getting a ton of money from merchandising alone. And
Yeah.
for, like I said, for the old cartoons, that's where all of the money was. Like,
I
you
mean,
didn't.
if you go outside, if you go out in public and you walk around, especially like an area with like younger people, you'll see every 5 seconds you'll see someone wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt.
Yeah, you'll see Spider-Man t-shirts, and hell, for the kids, you'll see, the Spider-Man lunchboxes. I don't know, do people still use lunchboxes? I like to think they do. But, yeah,
Maybe
so...
the cool kids do anyway.
Yeah, so they pretty much already had a huge chunk of it, and then they come along and they're like, hey, I want half of your chunk as well. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good distillation of it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, obviously, my opinion can change if there's new information,
Yeah, same here.
but this all kind of sounds accurate to what a corporation like Disney would want.
Yeah, and honestly, Sony's really been under fire a lot recently, because they've kind of had a few failures. Like, let's be honest, Star Wars hasn't been doing too hot the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Last Jedi was extremely divisive. I personally liked it. Solo outright bombed. I saw it. I kind of liked it. Solo basically its biggest sin was that it was just okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. So like that's the worst place for a movie to be in. It was forgettable and bland and just very vanilla.
Honestly,
Galaxies. Oh, wait. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, honestly, like, I still stand by that. I think the biggest kick in the pants for the Solo film was that it looks like a documentary. Not watching the movie, it looks like a documentary. Like, if you look at it from the poster outside of a movie or something like that, it looks like, oh, we're gonna talk about this character and the development of this character for a couple hours. And
Solo, a Star Wars story. Yeah, that does sound like a documentary.
yeah, especially when you remember with the cover art for it.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was not a very vibrant one. It kind of had a duller look to it as well. If assuming
Connor,
my
have you
memory's
seen
correct.
Solo?
No, I haven't.
What's your opinion on The Last Jedi?
If he's seen it.
I'm not a big Star Wars guy, so I.
Okay, that was actually like I wasn't planning that breathing intake. It just I have like bad throat, but that was
It's okay. I get that reaction whenever I say that.
It's alright. I'll let you in
I
on a
did
not
that
so well
partially
kept
for comedic
secret.
effect.
I'm not a huge Star Wars guy either. I just kind of I respect the series.
Garrison, I'm crucifying you after the show. I hope you like nails in your palms.
That's alright. You've already crucified me enough as is.
I mean, at least then your arms will be sweaty, knees weak, arms and heavy. I just hope you haven't had any of your mom's spaghetti because there'll be vomit on your sweater.
All right.
But yeah, like in addition to like the Star Wars stuff, Galaxy's Edge isn't doing too well. The park attendance on a whole is going down. Disney's kind of not in a good place right now. Like one thing I like to point out to people. So Rise of Skywalker is supposed to come out this Christmas. Why is it we've only gotten like one trailer? I showed you the trailer, remember, Garrison? What was that reaction you had?
The first thing I remember seeing, like, do you mean when you showed me the trailer or when you first talked about it?
When it both.
Okay, when you first even mentioned about something about, the trailer for the new Star Wars movie, I went, wait, there's another Star Wars movie coming out?
Exactly my point.
Like, I had zero idea. And then he showed me the actual trailer, and I was like, there's a lot going on, but not a lot being conveyed.
And then remember I showed you the trailer for that really old movie X2. Oh my god, I can't believe I said
The
that.
X-Men movie, yeah.
Yeah, where they didn't have any footage from the movie,
Yeah.
but like the way they did it, it gave you more of an idea of what the movie was going to be.
Yeah, it
Which is
said
the
more
point of
about the
teaser.
movie than showing all that stuff that the Star Wars one did. But
Yeah.
anyways, so taking us off of that sidetrack, back onto the main track. Connor, did you hear anything about like the whole Insomniacs thing, or not Insomniacs? I'm sorry. Did you hear anything about the whole Spider-Man thing? Or I forgot. Did you say you didn't?
I heard a little bit on social media, but Nick's description is kind of the most full-fledged chunk about it that I've heard.
Yeah, one
And,
thing that actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if it sounds like if Disney's not doing too well, they would look at that as an opportunity to potentially get a new source of revenue, and that might have been why they would do it.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting is at first everyone was like, "Yay, pro Disney," but then like as the facts started to trickle out more, I mean, you still have your pro Disney people. There'll always be pro Disney people. But like you actually started to see more people actually speak about being on Sony's side because like the facts are honestly pretty damning. Like I know people like to talk about how oh Sony, Marvel saved Spider-Man, and let's be honest, if Sony makes more Spider-Man movies, there's a good chance they're going to be crap. Let's be perfectly honest. And yes, it's true. The MCU made Spider-Man relevant again. They made really good Spider-Man films. That is true. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest. The MCU Spider-Man films are good, but I don't feel like they're Spider-Man films. I feel like they're more Iron Man films. Like that's my biggest problem. He doesn't really feel like Peter Parker because like every time Peter has a problem, it's a lot of times it's solved by external forces. I mean, hell, in Far From Home, Tony Stark was saving his butt and he's dead. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Nick, how could you?
Yeah, I know, right? It's only been like what, 4 months, 5 months since Endgame came out. Yeah, some people still haven't seen the movie. I mean, it's not like it's the most highest grossing movie of all time. Yeah, some people. There's probably few people that haven't. God.
Fair
Sorry,
enough.
I couldn't continue on that train.
No, it's all good.
But like, they're not bad films. They're good films. It's just, they don't really feel like Spider-Man films, because for me the essence of Peter Parker is the struggle. For me, Peter Parker is supposed to feel like one of us. He's supposed to feel like a normal person with normal problems, in addition to being Spider-Man. That's kind of the essence of the character, and I think that's why people have always latched on to him, because, like, he's trying to defeat the Green Goblin while at the same time he's past due on rent. That's like those typical Spider-Man scenarios. And it's great storytelling. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko did an amazing job crafting the character. And, all the other creators that came since then. Honestly, my first exposure to Spider-Man was Brian Michael Bendis' run on Ultimate Spider-Man back in the 2000s. It's like Spider-Man is just one of those characters that is just so appealing to the everyman, and sorry, that rant kind of petered out.
You're good.
Petered out, get it?
Oh.
I wasn't even trying. Like I was literally not even trying, and I just did it anyway.
Yeah, I could tell by your delivery.
Because where it's like I realize what I say and then I call it out.
You're fine.
Yeah, it's like when you get that pause for a second, you're like, oh shit, he realized what he just said. Here it comes.
Okay.
Connor, what's your exposure to Spider-Man?
I'm not a big superhero guy either.
Same.
Surrounded by your
One thing based on my experience is that whenever you have business deals where there may be some gray area or not all the facts are known, usually what happens is whoever controls the narrative tends to control the outcry.
And
So
Disney
one of the
obviously controls the narrative.
Yeah, so if not all the facts are known and you have these two massive mega corporations dealing with some kind of, some of them have the rights for this, some of them have the rights for that, and we don't know all the details, I would not side with anything because it's probably a bit more messier than it's being led on, and each company has their own narrative they want to try and spin on
Yeah,
what's
like
going on.
honestly, usually when there's a conflict between two people, usually the truth lies not with one way or the other, but usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff that I keep saying that Sony's doing that we don't know about that could kind of turn things away, and there's probably stuff we don't know about the Disney aspect of it, you know. And like you're probably right, it's probably a more two-sided affair than people want to portray it as.
Yeah, I usually try and not jump into that kind of stuff, especially because of how difficult some of this stuff can be. And, when you have a limited amount of information and then everybody jumps in, plays armchair CEO, um,
Yeah,
yeah, I usually just wait to see if the more information comes out.
That's
yeah.
fair.
Oftentimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't, and that doesn't mean there's more information. It just means it didn't come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for example, the whole Epstein thing, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, that
He
is not a
was
can of worms we're opening
murdered.
here, that's for sure.
All right, I'm not going to say any more before, otherwise I might end up
Ranting, yeah.
suicide by gunshot to the back of the head.
But anyways, we should probably move on to our next topic now. Like, I feel like we've said everything we should about Spider-Man.
Yes, I think you have a dragon you wish to unleash.
Okay, so I apologize greatly in advance if like most of this flies over your head. However, I will try to explain it in a way like that it's somewhat quick and concise.
No, don't make it quick, but please make it as entertaining as possible. I have popcorn.
Okay, should I juggle while I'm doing it then?
If that helps, sure.
Well, I don't even know how to juggle, so I'd end up breaking something.
Okay, just breathe some fire. You'll be good.
Okay, so basically, for those of you who don't know VRchat, it's basically Second Life, but optimized particularly for VR stuff. Like,
My cousin, he knows the way.
yeah, and that's where the Uganda Knuckles meme like was born. Like that was its home.
It was born there and it died there.
Oh god.
We are assholes.
It's fine. But anyways, so past the meme stuff and all of the live streamers that played a bunch because there's a lot of really fun things you can do with VR. Besides all of that, yeah. Besides all of that, you also like you have a community of people there who like just use it as a way to like kind of be in contact with friends on a semi-physical level. Like there's actually an entire world in there featuring a bunch of movies that totally aren't pirated or anything. And you'll have like a group of say 8 or 9 or 10 of your friends literally just all go in there, hang around the couch, and you'll all just watch a movie together or something. Like that's kind of the groove it's fallen into. Like it's for the live streamers and it's for the people that just want to hang out with their friends who might not be able to in real life. But because it has like kind of that more personal edge to it, of course, you also have people who just kind of want to destroy it at all costs. So sometimes you'll get really obnoxious people, and as a result, people have made something in there called crash guns, where it's a little particle effect on their particular avatar, or sometimes it's client-side, stuff like that, where they fire off a certain gesture or something, and it will crash whoever you're pointing at. Like, it'll just... their game dies. Of course, they can, restart it and boot it back up. But that started happening, and then people were like, oh, cool, there's a new technology. I'm going to use it maliciously. So then the public worlds where you would normally go to meet new friends, and hell, I think pretty much all of my friends I've met in those public worlds. Like, those became kind of dangerous to hang around because you had people randomly going about crashing others, which is no fun in the slightest.
No.
Yeah, so like on the social edge of it, it got hit really, really badly, and now there's almost like a gang turf war kind of thing happening with crash guns in place of traditional guns or stuff like that. Like,
yeah, because like, is there any combat in VRchat?
oh no, not unless the world you're in is specifically designed to do that. Like, for VRchat as a base game, there's no such thing as combat.
Okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like, the only defense that the people have against that type of stuff is their own modded clients that are specifically resistant to them. Yeah, so there's this constant power struggle going on, and then the people who just kind of want to hang out with their friends, like, one way or another, end up getting caught in the crossfire, and it sucks really bad. And
Wow.
some of the people because there's like a techie challenge to it, countering all these crash guns and whatnot, it's attracted people who are actually dangerous from a tech standpoint. Like, hell, I had this one thing happen recently where a former friend of mine joined on a world of ours, crashed the entire world we were in, so everybody kind of died at the same time. But a couple of the people in there were those types of people you wouldn't want to mess with. He got DDoSed within like the hour.
It's getting brutal.
Yeah, and like, I'm not sure if there's even a way it can be fixed, because the VRchat devs don't really seem to be doing anything, and I'm not sure if there's anything they can do. I don't know if they have the know-how to like shut down that side of it for good.
Because honestly, if they're using crash guns, I mean, probably what they're doing is exploiting a vulnerability in the client, and if the vulnerability is something they can't just patch out, then yeah, but it might be something they can patch out. But I'm not privy to the details, so I don't know.
Well, one, they're using their own modified clients, kind of like how you told me for Second Life, nobody uses the main one. They kind of use all of these.
Firestorm.
Yeah, they use Firestorm or all these different ones.
Yeah.
Kind of the same deal there, only they're built for those types of purposes, like crashing people and whatnot.
Wow.
And on top of that, like, yeah, they could try to patch it, but then the people who are trying to use it maliciously would work even harder to break it again. And then a lot of times,
what I find interesting though.
What's up?
So I have some familiar with Second Life. I played it like hardcore, like by hardcore I mean every day for about 8 hours for about a year. I mean, it was a thing. So I'm pretty familiar with like the Second Life side of things. Second Life started in 2006, and it's still kind of going today. And it's kind of similar to VRchat, and it even has a VR component to it. What I find interesting is Second Life has never actually had the problem of a crash gun. I think probably the reason why is that Second Life has always had an active like dev community, patch and because Second Life goes down a lot. There's bugs, but it gets fixed. Like Second Life actually has an active, technical department, so that's probably why, like a problem with a crash gun, it would get patched out within probably a week. Where like you said, the VRchat devs, they're not as maybe they don't have the resources, the know-how, or the capital to patch something like that, and that's probably why something like a crash gun is allowed to exist. Because I guarantee you, if it's like I said, if it's something like that showed up in Second Life, it'd be gone in a day, no more than a week, maybe even hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember you were telling me that like I should really try out Second Life.
You really should. I mean, even if there isn't a VR component, I think you'd still like it. And if you do, I'd probably join you.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part about that is like all the friends I have are still on VRchat. So like I would be starting from scratch and
Yeah, that's fine. But if
Yeah.
if VRchat does go down and you need a new home, that's what I recommend.
hmm Yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. And like, oh, some of my
Yeah,
best
maybe one of these
memories.
days we'll hop in together and I'll show you around.
Maybe. But like my
Yeah.
best memories are like especially recently have been just hanging out with my friends in VR chat, and
Yeah, I can
I
relate.
hate so much to see it just die like that because of something
Yeah.
so dumb.
Yeah, like honestly, I know how you feel. Like truth be told, I still have some people I talk to. There's a guy I met on Second Life, and he's on my Steam. And if he's online Steam, I can message him and we'll chat for a few minutes. And I know if I log into Second Life right now, there's probably like one or two people who are still active that's on my friends list. I say hi to them, they'll probably like say, "Oh, hey, how you been?" Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And I get it. You meet friends there, and you know, yeah,
Yeah, but that was basically the extent of my rant. It's just like that whole space is kind of dying. Like I said, as much as I would love to just hop on there and hang out with all my friends, it's like aside from the one time recently that I had gotten on, and then the entire world crashed and I chewed that guy out. Aside from that
yeah.
one time, like I think it had been something like 2 months since I hopped on there.
Oh,
Just because, like,
ouch.
yeah, just because hopping on feels so sketch now, you know?
Yeah,
But,
yeah. It's always sad to see a world that you came to love, die like that. It's yeah, it really is sad. Like for example, when World of Warcraft gets shut down, which I don't think is going to get shut down for like a long time, I'm going to feel some pangs like that. The people I met.
mm-hmm.
Hey Connor, have you ever had like any situations like that, like an online community that you just became a part of that really meant a lot to you?
Well, the Silent Hill series is dead. So it's not necessarily an online community, but that series is dead, and that's
Thanks,
heartbreaking.
Konami.
Yeah. Well, we got the pachinko machines. I mean, that's what matters.
Ugh,
Um,
fucking pachinko
Hey,
machines.
as the Castlevania fan, I feel your pain, but at least we have the benefit of an actual good Netflix series.
yeah, and I used to play Ragnarok Online quite a bit, and I know there's been a resurgence, a little bit of that, but I remember there was a period of time where it kind of died out, and that was sad.
Mm-hmm. But hey, that's what social media stuff is for. So you can, like, keep those friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been big on online gaming, aside from quick type games like Quake 3 Arena or whatever, so.
Oh. Connor, you should definitely try out Ion Maiden. Like if you like, like early, like a Duke Nukem style game, I think you'd
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Mm.
Oh, have you played Dusk?
Yeah, dude, oh
I need
yeah,
to
that's a
play that so
great
bad.
game.
I know it's
That is a
basically kind
great
of
game.
aping Quake. I need to play that.
It's like Quake with a good deal of horror, campy horror. It's really good.
Yeah, I need to play that so bad. It looks so good. But yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely need to check out Ion Maiden.
Okay.
It's basically a Duke Nukem. It's got a big Duke Nukem vibe to it.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, that was pretty much the extent of my rant.
Do you feel better now?
No.
How can I make you feel better? Do I need to make you chocolate milk?
Uh, nah. It's all good.
Kind of
But
reminds me of right now. People are blocking all the pools in Habbo Hotel.
I'm sorry.
Oh, pool's closed!
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What was that?
Pool's closed!
Yeah, Nick knows what I'm talking about. Habbo Hotel.
Nick, explain. I'm lost.
Oh. I'll send you a link to a YouTube video that describes it pretty well. Internet historian.
Okie doke. Is it a really funny thing though? Should I have like?
Yes, it's 4chan shenanigans.
Gotcha.
It is 4chan shenanigans of like the highest caliber. Um, oh, I love 4chan. Like they are like I love like 4chan pranks. Connor, did you follow the capture the flag thing with Shia LaBeouf?
Nope.
Oh my God! So Shia LaBeouf did this art experiment where he set up like a camera, like he will not divide us. He,
Oh, I saw some of that, but yeah, I saw.
And then after that got ruined, he started putting up flags places, like, and he put it like in this random place where it was just pointing at the sky. People use star patterns. They used there was a plane flying by. They used flight charts, and then when they narrowed it down to a location, they had someone basically going around with like a horn, and like oh my God, it's just. And there was this one time where he even put it like in a museum in France, and people snuck in and got it. It's like, oh, weaponized autism, gotta love it.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about, so I'll just let you do your thing.
So do you know the phrase weaponized autism?
Nope, no idea.
Okay. Basically, people who are autistic tend to like zero in and focus on certain things to a ungodly degree, and I say this in the best way possible. So when you have like I mean I can speak for this because I am autistic, and so like, and that's why you see a lot of autistic people in the tech field, because well they're really good at it.
Yeah, they're better wired for it.
Literally, they're better wired for wiring. You get it?
Yes, I got it.
I'm sorry, I had to take my giant salmon and beat you over the head with it. Sorry, you smell like fish now.
Man.
Here's a pocket shower.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? Did you just say here's a pocket shower?
Yeah, I opened my hand and rain fell out.
What?
I may or may not be
heard somebody say pocket shower.
Yes, you did hear somebody say
pocket shower.
Yes, you did hear somebody say pocket shower. What?
Would you prefer I do pocket sand?
I would
never heard
actually.
that
I would much prefer the pocket shower. Thank you.
That's King of the Hill. It's like El Grubble. He's like pocket sand.
Yeah, I remembered the line. I didn't remember exactly where it was from.
The El Gribble. Okay, this is a tangent, but I don't care. The El Gribble. I always used to love it when he took phrases and took them to their little conclusion. He's like, this fortress is impregnable. I repeat, cannot be pregnated. And then like another one, he's like, the crap has literally been scared out of me.
Man, I should watch more King of the Hill. That was a good show.
Yes, it's the greatest anime of all time.
No, that's Corey in the house.
King of the Hill is the best anime. I will fight you.
Okay.
You do realize that Hank Hill is, if you give Hank Hill enough propane, he can kill Goku, right?
Will he ascend to be the next Hokage?
They're gonna come after me. Oh dear lord.
Oh my god, that reminds me. There was a clip of VRchat stuff, and it was literally Hank Hill as a Naruto character. It was like, I have ascended past propane. I have ascended past charcoal, and like it was great. He was the next Hokage.
Oh my god, awesome! I love it. I love it. I love it. Top 10 anime crossovers.
King of the Hill and Naruto, brilliant.
Yeah. No, the greatest anime crossover ever, if it would happen, would be That's So Raven and King of the Hill.
Okay, low key, for real, Isekai Quartet is the best anime crossover ever.
That went over my helmet.
Oh no, that's because it wasn't a joke. No, there's
okay,
like
then, fanboy.
Wait, like, I think I've told you about Isekai Quartet, haven't I?
I think you have, but I don't listen to Uber Weeb shit.
Ugh. Okay.
Shall I remove the dagger from your heart?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, I'll give the briefest of explanations. Isekai means trapped in another world. Okay? So
yeah, you're definitely trapped.
Yeah, so think like your Sword Art Online's, stuff like that.
Okay.
Isekai Quartet is Kadokawa Animation taking 4 of their isekai shows and smushing them all together, and it's brilliant. It's awesome.
Does Thanos appear?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Because unless Thanos appears, it is not a proper crossover.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know what's funny? Thanos actually looks like an anime character. He kind of looks like, like if you see like an anime and then they make it live action. That's what I like. That's what Thanos looks like to me.
I want to see a Thanos in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure art style now.
JoJo reference.
Oh, wait, hang on. You have seen the JoJo art style, right?
The art style, yes. It looks like David Bowie both shitted, pissed, and came all over it.
Close enough.
It looks like they just it's been David Bowie'd all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So many sparkles.
Okay, we should probably think about wrapping this up at some point soon, because I think we've gone through our main topics, right?
Yeah, we've kind of been stretching this out a little bit, but an hour is a good way to cap it.
Okay, was there anything else you want to talk about before we end it off, either of you?
Connor, is there anything you want to plug before we go?
You want me to plug stuff?
Yes.
I mean, well, yeah,
Here,
anything you
I'll
want
even,
to plug.
Here,
And if
I'll
there's
even
anything
take
you want
that.
Connor
put
to
it
dig
down
up
there.
links for, just tell him beforehand.
No, I've already got the link to the game, towards the Pantheon, so I already put that in the chat.
You want to show the Steam page real quick? Oh, no, never mind. That's not our new format.
Yeah, that's not quite our format yet, but spoilers, we have
I'll
a
do
new
an
layout.
announcement at the end, after Connor.
Yeah, we have a new layout we're trying to do, which will be a
I'm-
lot nicer.
I'm working on 2 sequels to Towards Pantheon. One is Bam and the Castle of Horror, which is a survival horror type game. And the other one is Bam's Countryside Adventure, which is a farming simulator with magical elements, so kind of like Black and White, that old PC game.
Oh, so kind of like Ruin Factory?
Yeah, but I'm doing something a little bit different with the farming sim genre.
Okay.
So
I
and
look forward to
Bam is a
playing it.
character. Bam is a character from Towards Pantheon, so that's why it's.
Well, yeah,
sequel.
he's like
he's
one
the
of
blue
best
cat,
ones.
right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So is he going to basically be your Mario?
Yeah, actually, so he's going to be the main character that my studio works on for a while, and then I have some other stuff I'll start working on.
Right.
down the
So he's your
Nice.
mascot.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, he is a cute little stinker, isn't he?
Yeah. Adorable little kitty.
Yeah, he's just as cute in real life too.
Okay, excuse me. I just learned something. Bam is a real cat. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's based off my real cat, Bam.
Okay, I demand pictures of this real cat.
Okay, so in Towards Pantheon, Bam wears a green scarf. And the story of that is that Biggles, his older brother, wore a green scarf, and then Biggles went missing, and Bam has his scarf. And in my real life, Biggles actually disappeared when I was a kid, but Bam is still alive. And when Towards Pantheon released, Bam lives with my parents, and my parents sent me a picture of real life Bam the cat with a green scarf on the day of the game released.
I demand a picture of it.
Same.
I'll send it to you guys.
Yes.
I might die of cuteness, but I'll die happy.
Hell, maybe I'll even make a Photoshop edit and like color him the same as Bam, like in the game.
Would that be okay, Connor?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Assuming Photoshop stops acting up for me, of course.
Yeah, Photoshop's gotta work.
Yeah, it's a piece of something or other.
So, have you linked Connor's Steam page yet?
I said I've linked that a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid.
Good job, Nick.
Yes, I am stupid.
It's alright, but yeah, I did link that in there.
All right, have you shared the other links yet?
Nope. Let me do that right now.
All right, and then before we leave, I wanted to make a special announcement. So as we've been doing this show, it's been going really great. We're going to continue this, but we wanted to make some upgrades. So next week will be the premiere of our brand new overlay. You know, it'll be all looking all pretty and such.
Nick, I already mentioned it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it in detail, so shut the F up.
Fine.
Okay, fine.
Anyways,
Don't worry, I love you, bro.
I love you too. Keep going.
In a totally non-gay way.
Just keep going.
Okay, all right. So we'll have the overlay, and with it, it'll just, we'll be able to display information more correctly. We'll basically be able to show stuff on a screen. Like for example, like last week when I did the bucket prank. That was a great moment. We'll do stuff like that. We'll be able to display information better, show stuff more clear, and it'll look a lot more professional. And we'll have it for you next week, and it will be amazing.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank Connor for joining us. You were a great guest, Connor. We really appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes, yeah, you're welcome on anytime. Thank you, Garrison, for putting up with my bullshit.
A.
And thank you, Nick, for existing.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, for being the spearhead of this stuff.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming, everyone. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it.
Any parting words, Connor?
No, just life is good, man.
It is good.
Excellent parting words. Thanks for coming on, Connor. And all of you out there, behave yourselves, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And bye.